How's it going? You got DonJohn back here again with the second video in my board game review series. And this one I mentioned in my first video, and this one is Ticket to Ride. Now, I actually don't have a copy of Ticket to Ride of my own. I have played Ticket to Ride many times with family, and they have the copy. And so I can't hold it up and show it to you and all that stuff. But I've played plenty of Ticket to Ride to know what's going on. So Ticket to Ride is a strategy game where you are building in the United States, and you're building train and or railroad tracks from one city to another, and depending on how long the stretch is that you build, you get more points, and more points adds up to a win. And there's other things like the longest train that gives you bonus points, and completing uh, specific routes gives you bonus points and stuff like that. And it's interesting because there's a way to keep track of points all the way around the outside of the board, but it never fails that we never keep up with it as well as we should. And so we always have to go back and add up points at the end of the game to figure out who's the winner. So there's a little bit of suspense in that. Now, Ticket to Ride is another one of those entry level board games where if you are looking to start board game night with your family, uh, give it a shot. Again, I think 8 or 9 years old, maybe 10 would be good to start Ticket to Ride. And it's one that requires a little bit of pre-planning. Like you have to understand the cards that you have in your hand. Being able to hold cards in your hand is a good thing. So you might want to invest in some of those card holders for smaller hands and stuff like that. But you're building basically as many railroads as you can, and you have so many trains. And once you're down to zero, one, or two trains, the game is over, and you finish the round. And at the end, you add up points. And so that is the basics of Ticket to Ride. If you're not sure exactly what Ticket to Ride is, there are many how-to videos out there that show actual gameplay of Ticket to Ride. This is just a review of it, so you're not going to get gameplay from me for that. Maybe one day we're in talks to do a board game series. Um, but anyway, um, so would I suggest Ticket to Ride? Yes. I actually suggest Ticket to Ride more than Catan. I've found very few people who, when you say, "Hey, let's play Ticket to Ride," they're like, "Oh, I hate that game." Almost everyone enjoys Ticket to Ride. It never fails as you're playing. Somebody's going to start singing the Beatles song, and then it's stuck in everyone's head, and you'll hear humming of it and all over the place. Or maybe that's just my family. We're big time Beatles fans. But just like Catan, there is one that you can start with. We do own this one because of the number of children in the family, but this is the first journey. And the thing about the first journey is it's actually pretty interesting. It's not a whole lot different than the original Ticket to Ride, except it takes less trains and there's less routes and things like that. So it really does a very, very good job of teaching kids how to play Ticket to Ride. Now, I'm not gonna. I'll review that at some point. I do want to get a just like the Catan Junior. I want to get a couple more games under my belt with that one before I come out and do a full review. And I'll probably, who knows, maybe include my kids in those reviews because they have opinions on them too, and their opinion may not be exactly what my opinion is. So that's Ticket to Ride. Now, I didn't mention this with Catan, but there are all kinds of different versions of Catan out there. I always suggest starting with the vanilla version, the original, and moving on to the Seafarers or the Settlers of America or stuff like that. But Ticket to Ride also has that, and they've got Ticket to Ride Europe, uh, ticket all kinds of different Ticket to Rides, and we just purchased not too long ago Ticket to Ride New York. So I'm actually looking forward to getting in and seeing what Ticket to Ride New York is about, and I'll bring you a review of that when the time comes. Um, and so hopefully you find this helpful. So would I suggest Ticket to Ride? Yeah, over Catan as a starting game. I like Catan a lot. Catan is probably more well known. It's a little bit more controversial because Some people like it, some people hate it. Most people I know love Ticket to Ride. So if you are watching this and you have played or you have an opinion on Ticket to Ride, leave that in the comments below. And make sure that you subscribe to the page and share it out with your friends, and let's get a little community of people together here to talk about how we can gamify life, whether it's through video games or through board games, or I'm even doing some book reviews of things that I'm reading. Getting ready to start the new Max Brooks book. Can't think of the name of it right now, but it's one about Bigfoot. They're kind of doing the World War Z take on Bigfoot uh, incident or something like that. Can't wait to get into it, so I'll have a review of that coming up soon. I'll have a review of World War Z book review coming up soon. A few different other book reviews. You know, a lot of these things that I'm reviewing are not necessarily new, but they are things that I enjoy. And so if there's things out there that you enjoyed and you want to hear a review of them, what my thoughts are on them, just shoot me a message or leave it in the comments, and I'll do my best to get around to it. So check out all the different reviews that you can, and you might want to look for some Let's Plays. We're thinking about doing some Let's Plays for different board games and different video games coming up soon. So Ticket to Ride, I think it is a must-have for any library. So give it a shot and let me know what you think.